And you're on.
Awesome. Oh, I will come back here. Good morning. I'm just seeing if everyone's jumping on there. If anyone can hear me, if you can hear me, can somebody please just jot in the chat and say that our audio is okay. And while we, awesome, heard, thank you, Sabrina, all good, thank you. That's really awesome, everyone. So good morning and welcome to our webinar. Apologies for the slow start this morning. We were just a couple of seconds behind there. I can hear another audio feed coming through. I'm just going to have a look at our participants and see who that is. Oh no, everyone should be muted. Let's mute that one. There we go. Everyone can still hear me okay? We just, oh. Awesome. Cool, yes, you can hear you. Awesome, thank you. Okay, so just while everyone's jumping on there, you should be able to see me here. Just while everyone's jumping on, I will just do a quick introduction and share our screen in a second. So my name's Raewyn. I am the head of production here at Facebox. Facebox is a video production company based here in Whangarei. And we work with a bunch of brands. Let me bring that up, share screen. Cool. I believe everyone should be able to see that okay. Again, if somebody can just jot down in the chat if they can see our opening screen there, which says Facebox, how to create engaging video for social media. No, you can just see me. Oh dear. Okay, let's share that screen. There we go. Share. How's that? Oh, all good. Cool. All right, so we are Facebox. We're a video production company based here in Whangarei. You'll see the image on screen at the moment. That is the Nell Place Business Park, and it is actually our real life office and van there. So if you're ever in the business park, feel free to stop in. That's where we're based. So Facebox, we are a video production company that has worked with major brands across New Zealand and international. So I'm just doing a quick introduction while others jump on the call. You'll see there we've worked with brands such as JB Hi-Fi, NZTA, M Social, Wendy's Burgers. That's actually our director Kevin there in that image. He did some acting for them, and Sal's Pizza as well. This is a nice image there from Sal's Pizza. That was taken quite a few years ago when we did their stuff. And that's just a couple of images of us doing some stuff international, which is, you know, a lot of fun. So I want to keep today's discussion as interactive as possible. So if you have any questions along the way, can you please drop them in the chat? What I want to do is work our way through a couple of topics. I have a couple of topics that I do want to cover that are just really general, I guess, coverage of how to produce video for your brand, your story, your whatever your mission is. There are some tips that you can use across the board that you can use to, you know, really, I guess, promote your message using video. So please, if you have any questions along the way, just chuck them into the chat. And as I work my way through the sections, I'll stop the screen share and I'll answer any questions at that time. So please load up that chat. We'll come back to that at certain points throughout this webinar. But to kick things off, I really wanted to start with, you know, what is video? Why do businesses or people in general use video? And throughout my career, what I've really discovered is that people use video to create impact. Well, they want impact. They want to make an impact. And so I think that this is a really important word that we can use to describe it, because people create, you know, videos to create social awareness, to promote their brand, to do all sorts of cool things. So, you know, if you're on your video journey, just be aware that that is what, you know, you're producing video for. It's to create an impact in some way, whether that's to share your message, promote yourself, promote your brand, whatever it is. So do, you know, use that word to help you along your video journey and remind yourself of why you're doing it, especially because for a lot of people it can be a really daunting journey. I do have some statistics. I am going to run through these quickly. I do want to get into the more technical sides of things pretty quickly so that I can really be of value to you on this call and that you can, you know, ask your questions related to those things. But we do have some important things to cover, which is why video. So social media platforms absolutely love video. Now, social media platforms have changed their algorithms to be more video conscious. So things like Facebook and LinkedIn actually promote the use of video now. So if you post a video that's under 3 minutes long, these social media platforms will actually pick up that you have posted a video and they will promote that on people's home feeds above other forms of content. So there is actually a push amongst our social media giants, our global giants, our business giants to have more video presence on social media. So if you're not doing it, just be aware that this is something that really works incredibly well on social media, and I do highly recommend it for that reason. Video content is more memorable than other types of content. So as you probably know, video can convey a lot of emotion, it can convey a lot of information in a short amount of time. So therefore it is more memorable than other types of content in terms of being able to translate a lot of information in a short amount of time. And video improves your SEO. So if you have a course, for anyone on this call who isn't sure of what SEO is search engine optimization. So this is when Google or the website provider such as Bing, Yahoo, whoever you're with, Explorer, Firefox, Google will literally read your entire website and it'll go, this particular page, website features video and text. So when it picks up video, it goes, they're translating information in a really short amount of time compared to text heavy websites, and so therefore it pushes up your SEO. When you have a really great SEO, what happens is your website or content will be promoted on the first page of Google. So having video in your website page, on a page on your website, however you want to place it in there, really does significantly improve your SEO. And again, this comes back to you know, content being more memorable for people. They can consume it in a short amount of time, and I'm sure you can tell from there that these things really, social media and Google and all of these SEO things really focus on video as being the optimal way to communicate a message to people in a short amount of time. Yeah. So I want to jump straight into some tools. You know, we often get asked, are there certain things that we use as video production content, you know, video content creators? And there's some really standard tools that actually don't cost us anything, or they cost us very little to use, and we rely on them a lot. So I want these to be used by you guys as well. You know, there's no major secret here. And these are things that we actually lean on a lot in our services to really create better content. And the first one of those things is Rev. So Rev, if anyone doesn't know rev.com is captions, transcriptions, and foreign subtitles for your videos. So for us, if we create a video that is, say, 3 minutes long, instead of writing the subtitles in ourselves and trying to figure out, you know, all the words that we've created in the script, which may take, you know, a good hour or two just to figure out or write out all of those words, we can just upload our video to rev.com and it'll come back with a complete script and transcription of the entire video and what we've created. So this one in particular, I'm just going to check our chat for a second and make sure that everything is more chat. I can bring it up there. Cool. Awesome. So this one in particular with Rev means that you can create those subtitles that you need for Facebook, for LinkedIn, for Instagram, for anything like that. As you know, most people probably watch video now with the sound off. This is a real thing for us. Majority of our clients are coming through our door and going, hey, look, can you put subtitles on this? Can you put captions on that? And it's literally that. People are watching, using their device, they are watching TV with their cell phone in front of them. They are sitting on the toilet watching their cell phone. They are sitting in waiting rooms and receptions on their cell phone, and they are watching video, but they're consuming it with subtitles. And so this to me has been a really important tool that we have leaned on a lot. It means, as I say, we can send out a video, a 3-minute long video, and we can have it transcribed within 2 hours back in our inbox, completely transcribed, and then all we have to do is whack these subtitles in over top of our video. So for anyone out there who is already creating video with words, you're speaking, you have audio, have a look at this tool. It's really important, and it'll, change, perhaps make things really easy when it comes to transcribing and putting subtitles in over your current videos. The next tool that we use and we really lean on a lot is Loom. So Loom is a Google Chrome extension that can sit in the top of your extension bar, on top of your URL. I think that should be the right side unless I'm reversed. And what it allows you to do is record your screen and yourself at the same time. So Kevin and I have actually been, for those who don't know Kevin is my business partner. Kevin and I have actually been communicating to our clients via Loom. So just as you see me now, or you can see, we're sitting here in this chat, you can see me. I can actually post myself over top of whatever it is that I'm describing. This can be desktop, this can be pretty much anything, and just copy and paste the URL to that video, put it in a Gmail email, and it will play within the email to our client or to the person that we are sending it to. This is completely free. This particular one, Loom, there's no costs involved with it, and it is incredibly useful. We're finding that a lot of our clients and a lot of people that we communicate to via Loom go, hey, this is really cool that you're talking to me via video. Yeah, how do we get that too? So that's just another one of our tools. And our last one, and this one I want to pair a bit of a strategy with, is called Answer the Public. So Answer the Public is a website that takes all of the most commonly asked questions on search engines. So again, think Google, Bing, whatever you're using, Firefox, anything like that. It takes all of the most commonly asked questions and it compiles them into a little mind map. So the strategy that Kevin and I really promote around this is that you go in there, you'll see, this is literally the website cover. So this is what you'll see, and it'll say discover what people are asking about. You'll literally just type your question in there. So for us, we put our industry. We actually say to people, do put your industry in there. So I might write in video production, and it'll give me the most commonly asked questions on Google about what, who, when, where, and how. So what is video production? What does it cost? All of those things have come back. And what this allows Kevin and I to do is actually answer those questions using Loom via video. So we can actually say, well, what is the cost of video production? We can actually answer that within 30 seconds. We can take that video and we can embed it into our website. And this means that the next time, again, talking about SEO, the next time that somebody goes on to Google and asks that same question, they're going to be met with our content. So it's a really powerful strategy if you get it right. If you're in a very niche industry, for instance, I had a client once that was doing micro needling. Micro needling is, for those who don't know, it's a needle that you put over your skin. It's got about 12 different points in it, and as you run it over your skin, it pierces the skin really quickly. It's a beauty therapy tool, and it promotes the collagen coming out in your skin. So with this particular client, we were able to say, well, look, you can actually answer these questions about micro needling. Is micro needling safe? What skin condition do I need to have? All of those things, and this particular client can now jump on there, answer those questions, and have a video posted within 10 minutes to answer those questions, and then get all the traffic of the people asking that. So it's a strategy. It's a very powerful strategy. The people ask dumb questions on Google, and if you can answer people's dumb questions, you're going to absolutely dominate in that particular field. Cool. All right, I'm going to stop the share there because I can see a couple of comments coming through, so I'll just check those. Oh, anyone else getting serious flickering? I can see that. That may be my screen. It may be the fact that there's actually this glare coming in, and I apologize for that. I hope you're not getting serious flickering anymore. Teresa, Ray, can you cover off what the main benefit for transcribing your videos, please? Look, the main benefit, and I hope that I did explain that, is literally that people are reading. They are reading videos. People aren't playing videos with the audio on. So if you're trying to tell someone, you know, content within your video, if you're trying to get across a message within 60 seconds or 30 seconds, the main benefit would be that if they are sitting on the sofa with their phone in front of them and not wanting to interrupt other people in the room or not comfortable having their sound on, they can read that content. I guess we can't rely on you know, somebody going, oh cool, that's a neat video, I'm going to scroll back to that later. I highly doubt that people do that. I actually believe that, you know, 100% it's a missed opportunity if you're not putting captions and text on top of your videos in today's day and age. So that to me is the main benefit. It's about people being able to read your content if they can't at that time listen to it. What does it cost? Rev is $1.25 per minute of video. So I believe that's the actual cost. So if you've got a 3-minute video, that works out to about, you know, just under $4 for a video. Loom is completely free unless I think if you go over the cloud, there's a cloud allocation. So how much space you actually have of stored videos, there probably is a paid option. I've never reached that limit, so it's free up until it, you know, you surpass a certain limit, is my guess there. And what was the last one? Answer the Public. Answer the Public again is free until you reach a certain limit. So I think you have 2 or 3 searches a day on Answer the Public before they say, hey, if you love this service, you know, start paying for it. So you may just have to space out your searches, or just screenshot, you know, when you do ask a question, go in there and excuse me, go in there and screenshot the page so that you have all those questions that people have been asking, you know, and you can revisit in a week. My experience with Answer the Public is that there's thousands of questions that people ask, so you're not going to run out of content in any time, you know, anytime too soon. I hope that answers that. Okay. Mary, can you edit the transcriptions when they come back? For instance, if a couple of words are wrong or misheard? Yeah, you can, and you can do that within the software in Rev. Look, we have this happen all the time. Kiwi accents are, well, we got voted the most attractive accent. It's not exactly the easiest heard, apparently, especially for Rev. We've come back, had really funny actually, situations with Rev where it's literally, we've said the word business and it's come back with the word industry, and we've gone, we have no idea how it misheard that, and other times it's been really accurate. So yes, you can change them, and it's important to be able to have that control. I know that Facebook and YouTube also have built-in caption tools, and YouTube, you also have the ability to go in and change misheard or wrong captions. I've never used the Facebook one, built-in one, so I wouldn't be able to talk to that. Linda, this is way too advanced for me. I was really just looking for a tutorial on how to shoot and edit a simple video on my phone. Linda, we will be coming to that. I wanted to get the tools out of the way first, because I know there's a lot of people on here that, you know, everyone's at a different level in their journey, but we will be coming to how to shoot and edit on your phone. So stick with us, and if you have any questions after that, you're more than welcome to talk to me about that. Hey Raewyn, what was the auto transcriber you use again? Rev.com. So rev.com. I can always go back to that page if you need. And Teresa, as soon as I posted that comment, you already answered it. Okay, awesome, cool. Well, with that, I'll jump back into the share screen. And again, if you've got any other questions, please just chuck them back into the comment section, and I'll come to those after we've done our tools there. Okay, so before we jump into, again, the how to actually create video, I want to cover off some of the different aspect ratios. Now, back when I started in video, I'm just going to take a quick sip of water, actually. Thank you. So back when I started in video, which was 11 years ago now, we had two main aspect ratios. We had 16:9, which is the one that you'll see here on the far left of the screen, 16:9 full landscape, and that was for modern TVs. And then the other aspect ratio we had was 4:3, which isn't featured on here at all. Now we have a whole range of different aspect ratios. And I guess why I want to talk to you all about this is I really want you to understand that when you post a video, seriously consider the real estate that is also around the video. You'll see on the other side, which is just hidden behind my chat box there. There you go, 9:16 on the far right. 16:9 on the far left is literally vertical video and upright video on your screen. So that is full screen. That means that you're not going to get any other real estate for text unless it's an ad overlaying the video. So I think that's really important to consider when you're actually considering what you're going to post your video on. You know, if it's on your website or if it's a creative video, 16:9 is probably going to be amazing. It's going to be exactly what you want. People are going to turn their screen in order to watch your video. But in saying that, if you have a business video or if you have a quick, you know, non-cinematic creative video, you're probably going to be better off sticking to vertical video, which is pretty much everything from the far left onwards, other than the 16:9 in full. Okay, so everything from the middle, the one-to-one, the square Instagram and Facebook feed aspect ratio there. So I heard a really interesting statistic by Kerwin Rae actually a couple of years ago, and he said the problem with 16:9 video is that people are getting lazy. This has actually become a psychological and habitual habit that humans have adopted, which is that we want to scroll like this. We literally are getting too lazy to turn our phone sideways. So unless you have a really engaging creative video that you want people to engage with and watch, the best bet for social media and social video is to use vertical video. So that's everything upright like that. That's landscape, that's vertical. I find that incredibly interesting. Social media is changing the way that we interact and that we, you know, communicate with one another and consume content. So we've looked into the other aspect ratios that are available today, and you'll see the white space around the video space. Now this white space, it's screen real estate. If you're really clever and you know exactly what you're producing, you know, you can put content above and below that. So you can make sure that you've got your profile image at the top, your business name, and then underneath you can put all of the content or the, you know, if you want to know more about what I'm promoting, you can write that below. Same with things that are, you know, special charity causes or good causes. You can put more information, you know, you can donate at the link below. All those sorts of things. So I want to show you this screen just so you can become familiar with it. And if you are going, I mean, I see most of you have got to use video for something, but really consider the real estate around the video. You know, is it something that you are creating that's just fun and noisy? Perhaps then you don't need the extra real estate around. But if you need someone to donate, if you need someone to click a link, just consider them being able to watch the video and see your information at the same time. And there's so many different aspect ratios that you can use. The one that we're gunning with the most at the moment that Facebox is using is obviously 16:9 for all of our creative stuff. So that is always what we do for websites. And then on the other end of that, we're actually using the 4:5 ratio. So the vertical Instagram and Facebook feed. And that's purely because, as I say, we can get a nice little profile picture, you know, in the top there, and then we can put information below, and it's the right size to be able to put, you know, a video in between and then text above as well. So yeah, absolutely consider what content you're creating, what you're creating it for, and if you're going to need those links around that content. But I am going to move on from this screen for now. It can be confusing, so again, if you've got questions, just jot them in the chat. I'll come back to them and we can cover it off. No question's a stupid question, just chuck it in the chat. So this brings us into smartphone cinematography. And to kick it off, we're actually going to start with framing. So this particular image, you'll see the grid over this image, it's called the rule of thirds. And I've heard the rule of thirds in poster contexts, in art context, and all sorts of things. And the rule of thirds is really that grid that you see right there. You'll see that the boy is on the left line in that grid, and his head is on just underneath the top portion there, and the top of his legs there is on the bottom one. So this grid, you can't really go wrong with it. We use it a lot. We use it today. You can get it on most phone applications. So if you've got a smartphone, you should be able to go into your settings and apply the grid. The grid allows you to measure things pretty accurately, so that you've got your subject on one side and you've got enough space around that. You'll see again here, you've got the same thing going on. You've got these people on that left grid and you've got that action point on that axis. So I guess that's what it's really about. And you know, the shortest, easiest way to explain it is that you want an action point to happen on the axis. Unless it is something like me right now, you'll see that I might just stop that share actually, so that I can bring my face up. So you'll see right now I'm kind of on that same grid. If you can envision that grid here, I'm sitting right in the middle, but my eye line is actually along that top line, and you know, that other line would be here. So the rule of thirds works in that way. You can apply it to any situation, but it is just very standard grid. You can apply it over anything really, and get that line and get that action point. So for those who perhaps don't understand framing, just imagine a grid over something and then just chuck your action point on the top left or top right axis and have it going down to the bottom one. There you go, the bottom axis. And just in case you haven't got a person, you can do that with items as well. So you'll see in this particular image, we've got the boat on the bottom left axis, and then we've got the horizon line of the beach just underneath that top line. So it's not like perfect on that line, but it's still enough to run along that grid, if that makes sense. You'll see the island there is on the right axis, top right axis, and then obviously we've got sand and beach in the very bottom third. Rule of thirds can be hard to explain. However, when you look at it in images, and if you go on Google Images, you're going to find plenty of examples that I think really helps cement the idea of it. And if you are working with people and they're not looking down the camera like I am right now, being centered, that's pretty much how you place them, is on that third. So I hope that makes sense. Look, honestly, Google knows everything. You can always Google image it and see more examples of things. And if you have got any questions, do chuck them in the chat and I'll try my best to answer them. All right, lighting. Oh, just give me 2 seconds before we jump into lighting. Okay, no, we'll start with lighting. Cool. So we get asked this a lot, and to be honest, right now I probably don't in my chat have the best example. I'm going to bring my face up again, of lighting, and that's purely because I have a blown out background behind me, and I apologize for that. That's actually just our office. But typically we would light someone, you know, in front of the camera and have a darker background. We usually wouldn't do this at all and have a really light background behind someone. This is probably just the best view in our office, to tell the truth. And it's a Zoom call. It's not a, you know, fancy video by any means, but typically you wouldn't have lights behind someone, you'd have a light in front of them. And when I say that, I mean the light could be anything. It could be the sun, it could be, in this case, you'll see there Dumbledore's being lit by that white board that's actually being used as a reflector to bounce the light above him onto his face. But typically you'd have people on a dark background. So if you're going on a, you know, if you're shooting outside, face the sun. If you're filming in your office, face the windows. Physically position yourself so that you're facing the windows and let the most amount of light in on your face. or the subject space. It really depends on, you know, what you're filming. And that's, I guess, the easiest way to describe lighting for the most general use. And I always found that that's a really easy way to work with lighting there. So this next one, this next particular slide, the Kelvin color temperature scale, this is what we work by. So you'll see that one end is bright orange and you'll see the other end is blue. If you can envision a house, or if you think of your house at home, most likely you've got the household light bulbs, which is there around 3000. So that's a nice orangey warm color. If anyone is an interior designer, they'll know that the orange bulbs make a house look warmer, and they'll know that the bluer end of the scale makes the house look cooler and colder. The bluer end of the scale is actually daylight. So if you're outside, that is the color that you are getting directly from the sun. And the other end of the scale is actually the artificial look that you'd get in a house and get really warm. So I bring this up because I really want you to consider, you know, if you are in an office, you're going to most likely have orange lights behind you, and if you're facing out a window, as I say, and you're lighting yourself, then you're going to have a daylight look on your face, and you're going to have bright orange behind you. When if you're, you know, standing underneath a light bulb in a house, you're probably going to have an orange light over you. So I think it's just really important to consider when we're thinking about, you know, do I want a warm and approachable look, or do I want a, you know, a colder blue daylight look? Some people go, hey, can you give me that fake tan look, that nice golden glow? And typically that's when we go, oh yeah, we'll just put, you know, we'll give you an orange look. Yeah, trade secrets. All right. So that's what lighting is in a really basic explanation. I will go through sound, and then I'll stop for questions just after sound. So we'll run through that. That'll be our basics covered, and then we'll start looking into scripting and the other parts of the webinar today. So in terms of sound, we get asked this a lot as well. What sort of audio should I be using? Obviously, I've used a cool picture there with a nice boom and shotgun mic. Look, you don't need that. You don't need the whole fancy gear. In fact, I'm sitting here talking to you, and in my test this morning, I was talking to Kevin, and Kevin said, Raewyn, you actually sound really clear. Now, these are just my generic cell phone headphones, and if I sound clear and there's no outdoor noise, there's no birds chirping or anything, then, you know, I'm really happy with that. I think the most important thing to know about sound is my audio clear? So audio is half of video when people are listening to it. Obviously, we have Facebook here where people are reading words as opposed to listening to the audio, but you really want your audio to be as clear as possible, and that's not always easy. You know, if you're standing next to a highway, if you're standing in a large crowd, if you're at a concert, it's going to be really hard to hear the person trying to communicate. So the very best thing that you can actually do for audio is sit in a quiet room. Find a quiet space, close a door, get away from the noise as much as possible. And if you have headphones like this, where you can literally just have a mic on the end of headphones, that works perfectly well. If you want high-end quality audio, you know, you're going down you could end up down a pretty expensive path. We have a range of different audio options available at Facebook. So we have, you'll see the lapel mics on the screen right now. We have lapel mics just like that, actually, that we rig up our clients with, and that always ensures that we get a good sound. They work well. I think it's just really situation based. You know, are you interviewing people? Are you presenting a video yourself? I assume that most people are just taking a selfie video. So if you're just doing that, you probably don't need a high-end microphone like this one. As I say, you'll probably get away with this. But there is affordable mic options, Bluetooth mic options on the market now. Some really great ones, actually. And it really comes down to use. You know, what are you actually shooting? What are you recording video for? And from there you can work out, well, hey, maybe I do need to, if I'm going to be interviewing 20 people back to back, then perhaps I do need a proper audio rig and audio kit, as opposed to, hey, I'm mostly doing selfie videos and I can get away with having some, you know, AirPods or some just really standard cell phone headphones and mic. So, you know, you pick what you're doing, and your audio options should go hand in hand with what it is that you're doing, as opposed to getting the big gear. So. Okay, cool. So we're up to scripting. I'm going to stop the share there and bring up the chat. Oh, what's happening in the Q&A? Okay, there we go. I'll come to the Q&A in a sec. Serena, I posted my question in the Q&A section. Hope you get a chance to look at them later. Serena, I'm going to jump in there right now. Oh, cool. Serena, do you suggest putting subtitles on the actual video itself or via SRT file? I actually burn them into the video, but in saying that, I'm not sure if you have seen our authority videos at all. We typically get our video, we put it into a, I was talking about that aspect ratio, that 4:5 aspect ratio. We actually embed a 16:9 in that. I realize this could get quite confusing quite quickly. And we actually embed the text underneath the video. So I can always send you an example of what that looks like. We don't really give people the option to turn videos on and off. Turn subtitles on and off. We actually burn it in most cases, and that works extremely well. It means that people have the choice to read it, whether they want to read it or not, you know. So that's how we do it. I suggest just burning them straight in there. We do use the SRT file though, but it's very rare that we give people the option to turn it off. Serena, how would you use answer the public for product rather than service? Same thing. I would, how would you use answer the public to use product rather than service? Yeah, so I would type the product. What depends on the product. But so say I was selling coffee, I might say, how long should you run the hot water in the coffee machine through your beans to not make it taste burnt? You know, so you do sometimes have to get creative with the question. Is the what's the product about? Yeah, is it a skin cream? You know, is the skin cream safe to use on my skin? Is it safe to use on sensitive skin? Is the sanitizer safe to use on, you know, sensitive skin? I think you just got to get creative with the question around that. Ask about the product itself and see what people are asking. Is the product something that people know, or is it something that people don't know? I'd be interested to know how you go with that. Obviously, I don't know what product you're talking about there. I actually would be really interested to know more about that, even if you want to chuck that in the chat or communicate more to me later. I'd be interested to know more. Yeah. Andrew, how do you incorporate market research into your content to your clients? How do you incorporate market research into your content to your clients? That's a pre-production question. So that's actually probably my role. We actually do creative briefs. Oh, hang on. I mean, how do you incorporate market research to boost the take-up or effectiveness of your video content? Scripting, and we're going to come to that. So if I don't answer that in the scripting, and if I don't answer that in the, when we come to that section, please jot in another question, and I'll come back to that, but we should be covering that off shortly. So is this webinar being recorded to be available to watch later? Would be really useful for our students to watch. So yeah, I actually asked the same question. I would love for this to be recorded. It says it's being recorded in my top corner, so absolutely, I would love to post it somewhere, and you're more than welcome to send it to your students or show your students. It's absolutely fine with me. If you do have any direct questions, though, do reach out, and yeah, be interesting to see how they go with the information as well. I'm here for the psychology secrets behind creating the perfect script for your videos. When's that coming? Next, sub. Next. It's actually one of my favorite sections too. I wrote that. And Ian, is there any data to suggest what the optimal length of video or what point watchers would get bored and stop watching? Yes, there is. And it's getting shorter and shorter. So this actually came out in the latest algorithm changes. So they were saying videos optimal length was around 3 minutes, right? And then there was this point in time where Facebook dropped that right down. It was like the optimal length was, sorry, Facebook didn't drop it, Vine did. So if anyone here remembers the rise of Vine, there was the 6-second videos there for a while. I guess TikTok's really similar to that now. It's really short videos. It really changed the way that people were consuming content and consuming video. And it got dangerously short. People were not able to sit there for, you know, like 5 minutes and watch an entire video. They'd be off within 30 seconds max. And so now Facebook and Facebook owns Instagram, so I imagine it's the same, and LinkedIn, they've all got in their algorithms that they actually favor videos that are 2 to 3 minutes long. So they're trying to get people to stay on the platform longer and engage with longer videos. Therefore, the algorithm favors these videos. And you'll see now, I don't know about you, but I get it a lot on my video feed where I get like a mashup of these TikToks and Vine videos that are really short, but they're pieced back to back. It's kind of like a montage, but they'll be, you know, 3 minute long montages. And that's purely to get around the algorithm. So the optimal length, for me, Kevin and I recommend 60 seconds to 90 seconds. However, 2 minutes is pretty good. And 3 minutes is kind of where you're leaving the audience too long, unless it's a really engaging video. Yeah, typically they would stay on board for about 3 minutes. Yeah. I hope that answers everything. I'm just going to click answered on this, so if anyone else asks questions, it's all clear there. Here we go. All right. Oh, done. Done. Cool. I see. I got that wrong. Awesome. Share screen. So we're going to jump into scripting now. I'm just going to do a quick time check because I'm conscious of the fact that not everyone might be able to stay for a full hour. I imagine if there's any time over, we will be ending this about 11:15. I will try my best to speed things up, and after 11, keep it just questions or chat box questions. So leave your questions in the chat. This is being recorded, so you can always come back to it later. And I will also post this on our Facebook page. So if anyone does have to leave the chat, you will be able to find it again if you want to come back to it. But with that being said, let's jump into scripting. So I call it the psychology behind creating the perfect script. And this is one of my favorite sections. I spent a long time really getting into this and trying to figure out what is the psychology behind creating the perfect script. And this is I'm going to say it is more based around, you know, something that I've tailored for businesses as opposed to TikToks, all those things. You know, if you're here for how do I make my TikTok better or anything like this. This may not be the most useful information for you, but if you are a business owner, if you are creating videos to share and promote your message to create that impact that we talked about, I really feel that this is the section that could offer you a lot of value. So I discovered over my journey that there's 5 key things that really make your script stand out, make your videos stand out. And the first one of those things is the what. It's the what problem is your target market or audience experiencing. And you need to turn this into an opportunity. So if you can identify a problem up front, and I think the very best examples of being able to do this are, in fact, infomercials. So you know those crazy infomercials that we see in the midday television? They're incredibly crazy things, like some guy sitting down with you know, cheese chips, and when he sits down, he throws the whole tray up in the air. And I don't know about you, but people definitely sit there and go, oh, that could be a relatable problem. You know, I could see that happening to myself. You know, one of the funniest ones that I've seen is a guy with sunglasses, and he's walking down the street and he turns his head all of a sudden and his glasses go flying off his face. And it's like, yeah, that's really not that relatable, but the whole problem becomes, you know, someone can see themselves in that particular problem. So that's what this is about. What problem is your target market or audience experiencing? If you can find a problem that they're experiencing and you can make it relatable to them and you can show that, or you can tell it. So yeah, just anything. I was going to go for an example there. Video production, you know, we might say something like, look, your video is really bad. Do you need that creative edge, you know? And then hopefully a lot of people would be like, yeah, actually my videos aren't great and I do need a better creative edge, you know. Then they might come and see if it might be a relatable problem to them. So having a problem up front, and again, this could be anything. It can be related to a product, a service, whatever it is. Those glasses that I was telling you about, when that guy swung his head too fast and they flipped off his face, was the solution was a string around the glasses, around the back of the head. So there's pretty, you know, niche problems that have great solutions to them. So you want your target market to feel as though they can relate to that problem, so that they can see themselves in the solution. So what is the problem that they are experiencing, and communicate that. The who. Now this is really important. Who are you? Introduce yourself, your company, your background. This is probably actually incredibly important. You know, not just saying who you are and how do you contact me, but actually making yourself credible. You'll notice when I started this particular chat, I said, for those who were here at the very beginning, hi, I'm Raewyn, I'm head of production at Facebox. We've worked with over 200 brands nationwide, both here and international companies. So, you know, that should give you a little bit of information with the fact that we, you know, have had some experience in doing what we do. I also followed that up with, we've worked with major brands such as NZTA, Millennium Hotels, JB Hi-Fi, and it's literally so that you can, you know, the audience can go, oh wow, these people have worked with these major brands. It gives us authority, it gives us credibility. So New Zealanders in particular, and my coach actually said this to me, Kiwis are really bad at explaining what they do and who they are. And this is one of the things, you know, we have a bit of tall poppy syndrome here in New Zealand. So you need to stand up, you need to say who you are, you need to literally give yourself that authority and be proud of it, and say it in your videos and say it in your presence, so that the audience understand that you are serious. It's very important. We see it left out a lot. So yes, who are you? And say it. Yeah. Why is your solution better? Explain your solution, product or product. Explain why your solution, product or service is better than anyone else's. So again, this is about taking authority. This is about having the, you know, standing behind your product or service. This is about actually saying, this is why it's better. We've had clients who work with, you know, eco-friendly solutions, body lotions and sprays and sanitizing products. And, you know, they literally have to do this. They have to stand up and say, ours is better because it doesn't irritate your skin. Ours is better because you can use it on sores and wounds and it completely sanitizes the wound. All those sorts of things, you know, why is it better? It's, you know, is it non-toxic? Is it 100% Kiwi made? Is it, all of those things, you know, why? Literally why. The how does your solution solve the problem? There should be clear steps showing how your product or service is actually capable of solving the problem. So again, this comes down to explaining how to, what your product does, but also explaining how to engage with you. So for a product, it might look like something like I was just talking about creams. This product, you know, you open the product, you wipe it on your skin and you let it dissolve for 3 minutes, and then your skin will be feeling better after that. That is a clear how. That is a clear step-by-step saying, you know, you open up the container, you put it on your skin, and then it, you know, gets the healing benefits. If it's a service, what we typically do is go, to get, you know, how this works for you is you get in touch with us, you go on our website, you book in a consultation session. That consultation session then turns into, you know, the strategy session then turns into the final or finished product. So actually tell people the how, the step-by-step process from the very beginning of engagement right through to the out point when they get their final delivery or product or service, whatever that is. It's a step-by-step thing. And then very lastly, the call to action. Whatever it is you're telling them to do, whatever it is, you're telling them to do something and saving them from having to think about what to do next. When I say that, literally, go to my website, email me. You can call me on my phone, leave your 0800 number. My number's 0800 for Facebox. Literally tell people. You need to tell people what action they need to do to get in contact with you, or how to get involved with your product or service. And it's literally that. It's exactly as it says in that line, which is that you're saving them from having to think about what to do next. You'd be surprised at how people do people do what they're told to do. If you in your video say, look, do this, this is the steps that you need to take, they're going to go do those steps. They're highly likely to. If you don't, you just leave it up to, oh, that was a cool video, I'm going to move on to the next one. Oh, wow, now, you know, there's the next product or service that's just pinged me. It's exactly the same as what you're offering, but they've actually told me to call. So whatever it is, call, email, text, whatever, however you want them to communicate with you, you know, donate at the link below, join up to our Eventbrite, whatever it is, tell them exactly what it is that you want them to do. So we have some additional tips here. Add humor. People do like humor. You know, it makes the video emotional, makes it stand out, makes them connect with it in some way. So yeah, add some humor. If you're not a funny person, or if you don't, you know, naturally want to add lots of humor, it's fine. We like to add humor to our stuff. I think more important than that is to write like you talk. So you'll probably notice that in this particular webinar, I'm not trying to talk too formal. I am trying to, I'm not really trying, I am just talking quite casually. Write like you talk. If you're at a barbecue situation, you know, how would you approach someone? How would you speak to somebody at a barbecue situation and explain what it is that you do? You're not going to be all formal and go, oh, you know, like, here's all the 20,000 things or anything like that. You're going to just say, yeah, for me, for instance, oh yeah, I work in video production, you know. And then people go, oh, that's cool. So write like you talk. Emphasize your words and tone, enunciate. Yeah, when you're on video, that's it's a big one. You do want to emphasize your words and tone, and try not to stutter, try not to mumble too much, try and be very clear. It's fine if you're not, but it does help being really clear. Write with simple visual words. So what that literally means is, say you're describing the sky, literally the sky is blue, or, you know, if you want to be really clever, the sky is red. It's a visual word, so people will immediately start to get that imagery in their head of what it is that you are talking about. I might say, hey, we've actually got stacks of black paper at work, and you'll be like, wow, I know that she has black paper. It's quite visual. You can probably start to visualize it. So simple visual words are often colors or yeah, things like that. Sizes, you can say like it's square, it's circle. Simple visual words, I'm sure you can all understand that. And don't use big words. It's no good if people are leaving your video to visit the dictionary. So this is probably one of the biggest things that I end up cutting out of a lot of our clients' scripts, is that they come to me and they go, Raewyn, here's my script and here was what I do. And I'll look at it and I'll go, I don't even understand what you do. And I need to make sense of this so that I know that my audience can understand it. So don't use big words. Be really simple. You know, we talked about that how-to process. Make it really simple. So, you know, here's a step-by-step. You go on our website, you apply for a consultation session. From there, we work on your script, and then, you know, we deliver your final product when it's done. make sure like a 10-year-old can understand it, and then it'll be fine. If you're using really big words and it's back-to-back words, people will not engage with your video. They'll just go whatever and they'll leave. People don't like to have to put in effort. That's the truth. They like things just being really, really easy, especially in video. All right, editing apps. How are we for time? All right, it's 11 o'clock now. I don't think I see one thing in the chat. I think I'll just come to that. What specific tips do you have for shooting video in terms of types of shots used, panning, close-ups? I don't have a drone or anything flash, but I want to look good. It's a great question. It's a very creative question. If you're shooting creative video, then you'll want to get involved with all the close-ups, pans, and all those sorts of things. But if you're shooting a selfie video promoting a product or service, then I wouldn't get too fancy or flash, to be honest. I think people like simple. It'd be interesting to know what you know, if you're doing creative videos there, or if you're, you know, trying to do something simple. It could be a further discussion. I won't go too far into it today, but certainly if you want to know more, or if you want to let me know more about what you're doing, I can certainly advise you. Yeah. And thanks very much for this. So great, so much great information. I need to go, but I'll check the remainder on your Facebook page. Thanks for your time. Thank you, Anne. Awesome. Have a fantastic day. And that goes for anyone else right now too. If you have to leave, if you need to go, you're more than welcome to. Again, I will put this on our Facebook page so you can watch it later. And yeah, if this is the last time that we do cross paths, of course, absolutely, you know, good luck with your video journey. Mary, storytelling around travel. Oh yeah, cool, awesome. So yeah, Kevin and I really do get creative here. So we've done a couple of overseas gigs now, and we get close-ups, pans, we get food, we get really like, I don't know if you've ever watched foodie and travel shows, we get the whole shebang, and then we get, you know, all the close-ups, everything, and then we'll do some piece to cams, you know. So yeah, just whatever feels natural, I guess. I don't know if there is such a when is the good time to get a pan or a close-up. I typically always make sure I get a wide for safety. So a wide shot, still shot, lock off my tripod, get one big wide, and then from there I'll jump in and get my close-ups and pans. So I just make sure I get a variety. Okay, let me, oh, where's that gone? I saw a, gotta go, thanks for this informative session, well done. Thank you, Andrew, please send me, yep. Cool, yeah, I can do that, Andrew, no worries. Or you can get in touch with me as well. My email's pro@facebox.co.nz, but I'm sure I can grab that too. And that goes for anyone if you need to contact me. It's pro@facebox.co.nz or facebox.co.nz on our website. So this brings us into on-screen presentation. Now, a lot of us, you know, are really conscious about how we look on screen, how we appear. We have some tips. Probably one of the most common questions we get is, Raewyn, can you please put the magic lose 10 kg button on when you edit my piece? There is no magic button. Sorry to inform you of this. That's not a secret at all. There is no magic lose 10 kg button, but there is actually some tips that you can take that will make you appear more confident. There's some clothing that you can wear that will make you appear more slimming. And so we're going to get into those now. What should I wear? There we go, straight away. Don't wear tight patterns. So I'm actually wearing a tight pattern today. I would consider that on my scarf a tight pattern. I wouldn't advise it for video. However, it's quite mushed up in the rest of my scarf in this particular case, so I don't mind it here. When we say don't wear tight patterns, we're typically talking about checkered look. We're typically talking about things that are really tight and close together. I haven't got any examples around me right now, but what happens if you wear a tight pattern is it creates the moire effect. I think that's how you say it, which is if you've got too close lines, too close checkers, things start to distort in the camera. It's the same way that the human eye sees a rainbow. You know, the rainbow's not really there, but it's just that reflection on the curve of our eye, or in this case, the curve of the camera lens. So don't wear tight patterns, and you'll see if it's too tight. And it typically is really close together lines or checkered shirts. Don't wear dangling jewelry. Dangling jewelry bangs on microphones, and in fact I've got into the habit of not wearing jewelry at all, which is terrible because I actually really like it. I particularly like silver jewelry, but it bangs on microphones, and so you might be giving a fantastic delivery and look amazing on set and on screen, but your necklace or your long earrings might hit the microphone, and then the audio guy will be like, oh, that's really annoying, what's that big clunk, what's that big ching ching kind of sound. So we don't advise wearing dangling jewelry by any means. Don't wear hard blacks or whites. So I'm actually wearing a black shirt. You'll see there that there's no shadow. It's black here, it's black here, it's black here. You'll see on my scarf that's actually really light black, but anything in my current background is just black. You can't see shadows, so we don't advise people to wear black suits. We say to people, hey look, wear a coloured suit, a checkered suit, wear a colour, wear something that has got pattern on it, whatever it is, just don't wear black. Don't wear black on black, don't wear a black blazer over black. It just doesn't work out well for the camera. The camera cannot, even really high-end cameras, cannot distinguish between dark shadows and hard blacks. So just avoid black. As much as, you know, being a film crew, we do love black too. And being Kiwi, actually, we love blacks. But don't wear whites either. So when I say whites, I literally mean hard white. I mean, I've got a couple of A4s next to me, you know, white. You'll see behind me how blown out the windows are. I think you guys should be able to see me. I'm actually going to stop share and bring this up. In case you guys couldn't, that's what I'm talking about with black. Like, oh, there you go, get that close to the camera, we can see the lines, but here, there's no telling at all. If my shirt has, you know, these lines in it, you cannot see it from back here. That's what happens. The camera can't distinguish between shadows and blacks. And you'll see here, this is what happens with white. These are white, this light's white, this window's white, this wall's white, it's all blown out. The sofa's white, you'll see, you're here, it's quite blown out, it's lost all of its, gosh, you can't even tell that there's actually a crack in the sofa just here. Same thing happens about the opposite, you know, to the black. The white just cannot tell the difference. So don't wear bright white and don't wear solid blacks, and you'll be fine. Yeah. I'll just try this back up on the share. There we go. There we go. That extra tip for how to look slim on camera. So this is my magic 10 kg lost button. Dark and solid colors, vertical lines, and tailored clothes are key. Literally, that's it. That is literally it. So we do say to people, look, if you have a blazer, if you have something that pulls in your waistline, whatever it is, that's going to be what makes you look skinnier online. Sorry, on video. Everything else is, yeah, you know, that's it. It's how you dress tailored clothing. Dark colors do look slightly more slimming, but it's those vertical lines and tailored clothes that really make a big difference. And how you present as well. So I believe that's next actually. Oh, there we go. I was talking about the moire effect. That's what happens if you wear patterned clothing that's too close together. You see it creates like that weird warped effect. So here is how to present. So this is actually something that I'm also quite passionate about. I've recently been working with a lot of business owners in particular, a lot of professionals, people who are really nervous on camera and want someone to direct. So I am a video performance coach. I literally stand behind the camera. I tell people what to wear, how to talk, where to stand, when to throw their hands up. This is actually something I've become quite passionate about because I see that there's a really large need for it. And this is how I'm going to deliver it to you guys, which is, you know, to get the best performance, really get someone else to watch or direct. don't get someone who's really close to you. If you're in a husband-wife team, do not get your partner to stand there and be like, babe, you know, stand like this. You're just going to end up in fights. Get someone who you trust to 100% give you the best advice on how to deliver great video. So it may be somebody, it may be a co-worker, it may be a close friend, but pick someone who you genuinely know is going to give you constructive feedback and say, hey, look, you said that a bit fast. You're talking with your hands too much. Can you try talking with your hands a bit more? Whatever it is, get someone else to watch or direct. Even if you have to film it yourself first in a room, away from people, and then show them later. But whoever you get to watch your video, make sure it's someone you trust, not necessarily your partner or a child or anything like that, you know, a friend, somebody who you can trust, yeah. Give it extra energy. This is a big one. With acting, you overperform, right? So I know I'm sitting forward right now and I'm probably looking quite calm and relaxed when, if I was on screen, if anyone's ever seen me on video before, you'll see I'm far more like this, far more animated, alive, and trying to be a lot more engaging. And it's because video dilutes your energy. So you need to push more energy out in your piece. You need to be over the top. You need to think, how do I want people to, when people first meet me, say a client comes in my door, I want my clients to meet me with lots of energy and like I'm really interested in what it is that, you know, that they're coming into my business with. So give your videos extra energy. Smile. People smile when they see others smiling. I think that's quite an obvious one. You do need to look approachable, so please smile in your videos. Look at the camera. So looking at the camera, obviously the lens is the eye line. That is the gateway. That is the doorway into other people's eyes so that they see that you're talking to them. So do look at the camera. And reading from a prompter, teleprompters are a wolf in sheep's clothing. I find that they can be. There's a lot of apps now that I've been recommending to people. Teleprompter Lite. Teleprompter Pro? Teleprompter Notebook Pro is the one that I use on my phone, where I can actually have the script right next to my lens and therefore read my teleprompter as it's right next to my phone lens. So literally, if that's my phone, I can have, that's the camera on mine up there, and I can have the script here, and then I can see myself here. So I'll have it in landscape mode. They're a wolf in sheep's clothing, because when you read, you typically slow down and you typically change the speed at which you're reading. And so if you're not prepared to give it extra energy and sound like you're not reading something, you know, it can be a really bad choice. This is why I coach on set, actually, is because people sound like they're reading when they're reading off teleprompters, and that's one of the things that I coach around, is that intonation and making sure that people sound like they're having a conversation, not just a reading off a teleprompter as such. Okay, so I'm going to stop our share just now before we get into social media. This is actually the last section of the webinar, so I'm just going to stop share and just check our questions again. I can see there's quite a few there in the chat. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Raewyn's next event, Facebook events. Oh, is that our, oh, okay, yep, that must be the mastermind, I hope. Thanks, great session. Are you going to go back to editing apps? Renalba, I'm gonna, did you skip the editing app? So can you let us know your suggestions, please? Thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna come back. You know, I'll do it now. So I kind of deliberately, I guess, skipped editing apps in a way. And I don't want to make that sound bad. It's because there's so many editing apps on the market now, and people are editing in different apps. So you should have a pretty good native video editor in your phone, assuming you've got a good smartphone. If you do want a specific recommendation, I know there's Filmora Go. I know, which is Film or Filmora Go, G-O. I think there's such a range of them that I actually took that section out. The ones that I use are Premiere, and I use Premiere Pro for everything. Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro. You can get it on your smartphone, you can get it on your desktop, you can get Adobe Premiere Rush, which actually sends it directly to your computer. I think it's $21 a month for Adobe. So I do want to just throw that one out there. That's the one that I use. But yeah, your phone does have a editing function. It should do. And what's the other one that I use? Yeah, actually that's one that I'll bring up. It's called Quick. And I believe that this is the GoPro one. It kind of looks like this. And you can, like any other editing app, pick your clip and cut it up, but you can also add filters and things in that, and Quick doesn't leave a logo on the end. So if there's one that I'm going to recommend, it's Quick. It's spelled, you can see it, Q-U-I-K. I might chuck that in the chat just so people can read that. That's the one I'm going to recommend today. Otherwise, if you're prepared to pay, Adobe Premiere Pro, hands down, it's the best, and you can get it on your phone as well and send it directly to your desktop. We use Adobe here at Facebox, so we use everything from Photoshop, Lightroom, After Effects, you name it, we probably use it. Cool, that's done that one. And a drop if we go over editing, please. I hope that helps. Where did you go? Suggest some editing apps on your last slide. I've got lots of, yeah, I hope that covers editing. Please, if I haven't covered it, please do chuck it in the chat. I can see it says thank you there in the chat. So yeah, editing apps, as I say, there's hundreds of them that you can choose from today. I think I've thrown my recommendations out there though, yeah. I've got lots of technical videos. This is Julie. I've got lots of technical videos that are primary screencasts of someone demonstrating software. Any tips for making these more interesting? Without seeing them, I don't really know how to give you the best feedback on that one, Julie. But graphics, I mean, if you've got some little overlays that you can throw in, that's what I envision if they're not there already. Definitely subtitles. I don't really know how to answer that too easily. There's all sorts of things. All sorts of things. There's excuse me, I'm gonna have another sip of water. There really is all sorts of things you can do. Graphics help if the presenting is not 100% engaging. You can add little sliding graphics, you know, this is who's talking, or this is how you do that. Yeah, without seeing the content, it's a bit hard. You're welcome to get in touch with me though if you want me to see anything there. We can absolutely try and give you some pointers from there. Yeah. Thank you, cool. Do you recommend editing apps? Nazarene, how do you choose video scenes, background for promoting, offering services? A vlog type setting of walking along a beach footpath, talking to camera, or sitting at a desk in an office boardroom? It's a great question. I just put done. We really go into the context of the video. Sorry, got a frog in my throat all of a sudden. So we think about the context of the video. So we actually just shot a client who is Northland based. She's absolutely amazing, and she really wanted to promote a Northland feel. So we were like, well, we could shoot you down at the town basin. We could be shooting you at Te Matua Pohe. We could be shooting you absolutely anywhere in Whangarei. And then we thought, hang on, that doesn't really say Northland though, that says Whangarei. So we actually ended up taking her up to Russell and shooting on the wharf, sorry, not the wharf, at the Duke of Marlborough, out towards the wharf. So it was really about the context of her video. Her entire context was that she wanted people to feel and see that she is Northland based. So we were like, well, then we need an iconic Northland location that most people know. So we chose Russell for that reason, not Whangarei. It literally comes down to that. You know, if you're talking about, just to dive into that a little bit more, say you're promoting relaxing therapy or beach therapy or something like that, then yes, you'd probably go down to the water and have that in the background and speak, you know, in a way that's really relaxing and really calming, when perhaps if it was a parkour or some really active gym event, you might, you know, have it really upbeat, bang, bang, and loud, and have it, you know, in a concrete setting or a car park or something like that, that really shows the intensity of what it is that you're trying to promote. So it really comes down to the context of the video. What do I want the viewer to feel from this? And I hope that answers it. That's how I choose them. It literally comes down to what do I want the audience to feel when they watch this. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to leave those in the open. And I'll just jump back into the share screen. And we're going to jump into social media. So these are, as it says, tips, tricks, and hacks for getting attention. I've left it at that. There's so many things that you can learn about social media. There's millions of things. We could be here all day talking to this topic. So I've picked a few things that I think really help. If you are seeking somebody to really help you out with social media, please go find a professional. There's probably people on this call right now who are amazing at this. Yeah, please find a professional. Taking it on board yourself can be a really bad mistake. Facebox does not do social media. We do recommend people that do it. But yeah, if this is a big thing for you, please find a professional to help you out. I have a few tips though that I find really help when we post our own content. So my first one is create content that starts a discussion. The more comments and reactions, the higher your post will rank on home feeds. So if you create a discussion, if you create content that starts a discussion, it means that people will comment, people will share, they will like, they will talk about it. People may disagree with your content, people may agree with your content. You never know really how much comments you're going to get, but the more comments that you get, the more home feeds that you appear on. And this is organic and paid. So create content that starts a discussion. You know, it might be at the end of one of your videos, you might say, so, you know, I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. Write it down below and let me know, and I'll come back, you know, with part 2 or something. For a good example of this, I have a friend on Facebook who, actually a couple, who are very, they like to debate. They like to debate anything, and they'll play the devil's advocate just to have a really big comment section on posts. So they'll follow people like News Hub and the New Zealand Herald, and they'll get in the comment section and just say something that is just, you know, it's going to start a conversation and a massive argument. And they'll get like 54 comments, you know, just to that one comment alone. So it works. It makes others see that there's an active conversation happening. It promotes this particular topic, whatever the topic is, in the home feed of all the friends and other people around, because they're like, hey, look, this is getting a lot of action. It purely is an algorithm-based thing. The more likes you get, the more shares you get, the more comments that you get, the more that Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever it is, whatever platform you're using, will push it to the top and go, this is a trending topic, you need to see this. That's why we say create content that starts discussion. Answer the public, in case anyone is thinking it, because I just thought of it. Answer the public may not be the best for this. Answer the public was a website strategy in order to, you know, answer people's stupid questions on Google and get that up onto your website, and then being able to use that information to produce content. This, creating content that starts a discussion, is more about, you know, asking, what do you think about this topic? Or, you know, I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section below. The other thing that I've actually heard, there's another strategy that I've heard around this, and I know that Gary Vaynerchuk, if anyone knows Gary V, he uses this. He'll go and find out what the most trending hashtags are, and he will write a post specifically to those hashtags just to do this, because people will be searching for that hashtag, and then, you know, you'll see Gary V up there. So number of ways to do it, but definitely create content that starts discussion. Activate your most powerful advocates, your employees, friends, and family. So I actually recommended this to someone the other day. A friend of mine, she is raising funds for a, she's trying to get a roof actually. Shazar. she's trying to get a roof for a school in India, and she needs to raise $40,000 Australian to get these boys a shelter over their head at their school. And she said to me, Raewyn, what can I do? She said, I don't have a budget. This is a charity thing. This is you know, something I just really want to do for these kids over in India. And I said to her, do this. And I was one of the people that I recommended to do as well, which is to tell your friends, your employees, your family, literally reach out to them and say, hey, can you please like, share, or comment on my post? And it's literally, as we talked about before, the same thing with the create content that starts a discussion. Facebook will pick it up because it'll go, oh my goodness, this is getting a lot of likes, this is getting a lot of shares, this is getting, you know, a lot of comments. So the second that you post something, if you can get your friends liking it, if you can get your colleagues sharing it or liking it, you're going to get more actions. Your post is going to have higher engagement on the feed. So I highly recommend that one as a strategy. If you don't have budget, obviously you can't force people to do things though, but it's a really good strategy that works. And Kevin and I use this on LinkedIn as another example. So if you go on his LinkedIn and you see a post from him, you'll see that I'm typically one of the first people to comment or like and share the post. Now this is a really important one as well, less off-site links, more photos, tags, and original content. So Facebook prefers users to keep content on their own platform, and it'll give you a higher rank on home feed for original posts. So what I mean by this is literally, if you have a video on YouTube, don't share the URL from that YouTube to Facebook. You need to re-upload that video specifically to Facebook. In fact, even better, you need to make a video specifically for Facebook and have that posted on Facebook. When you share a URL to a social platform, the social platform goes, oh, this isn't your post. You haven't dedicated this to me. It's not mine. It's something that you've shared from a third party. It prefers content that is being created for it. And I know that if you continue to post from off-site links, so say you post 20 YouTube videos in a row with links, Facebook's actually going to demote you for that. So it'll say, hey, this person has over the last 20 weeks posted one video a week that's a URL from an off-site. It'll demote you for that. It'll go, well, we don't want to promote your stuff because you're not making stuff specifically for our platform. So be aware of it. When you actually make your videos, when you actually make your content, go, this is for Facebook, this is for YouTube, this is for LinkedIn, this is for Instagram, and post to those channels, if you can manage that. If it's a lot to take on, just pick one, you know. Well, I'm going to go live on Facebook, or I'm going to post a video just for Facebook, or YouTube, you know, whatever you're choosing. Narrow your audience. The beauty of Facebook is the ability to zero in on your audience when you boost a post. You really can. Again, I would seek out a professional for getting your videos for boosting posts. If you're an organization, actually go to a professional. Don't try and do it yourself. They know this, they know, you know, this back to front. They literally do what's going to work with certain audiences. They can give you the right advice. It's going to be a more costly journey if you try this on your own. That's my best advice there. But do narrow in on your audience. So good example of this is Kevin and I, if we're having an event in Northland, we might say, hey, everyone, whangarei, kiri kiri kaitaia, we're coming to you. We'll be in your neighborhood on these particular dates. We're reaching out to business owners, or we're reaching out to businesses. So we've already gone, you know, we're only selecting business owners and businesses within these regions, as opposed to casting the net too wide and, you know, saying everyone come along. Go narrow, go niche, speak to specific groups, not everyone. If you go for everyone, you'll miss everyone, you know. Time your content to perfection. The Facebook algorithm prioritizes posts that receive engagement. I've talked about that a lot in the last 3-4 slides, which is why timing your posts is so important. You want to post when most people see it. So if you know that it's 6 o'clock and most people are cooking dinner, it's probably not a good time to post. A better time to post is probably, you know, 6:30 or 6:45. I was going to say that I believe that my next slide was this. So this is actually quite old now, but this was produced by Sprout Social, and it shows the highest engagement. sections. So you'll see there Wednesday looks pretty dark actually. Well, so does Thursday, but Wednesday between like 7 AM and 3 PM. When you think people are at work, people are on social media or they're on Facebook. So it's not the ideal sheet for everyone, because I've had this come up in the past where people have said, but Raewyn, a lot of my clients are international. And I've gone, well, then you need to cater it to international timing. People have said, oh, but Raewyn, my audience is mostly mothers who work during the day. Well, then the best time to get in front of mothers who work during the day is probably in the evenings after dinner has been cooked. And sorry to be so stereotypical, but that is literally the truth. That's when most of people do sit down and go on social media. My audience is kids. Well, the best time, you know, teenagers, the best time to get in front of a teenager is when school finishes. So pick your timing, pick your audience, choose exactly when you're gonna, you know, get in front of them and with what. With that said, there we're actually on the last slide there. If you want to contact me, you can email me at pro@facefox.co.nz, and I'll just leave that up for just a few seconds. I am going to jump back into the chat before we close this off. So if anyone has any other questions, any other comments they'd like to leave, you can chuck it in the Q&A or the chat section, and I'll come to those in just a few seconds. For anyone who wants to contact me, that is my email address on screen right now. And yeah, I'll come back to you over the next few days or today. Just send me an email if you need to get in touch about anything. And that's us. Yeah, so I'll leave that there. I'll just stop share. All right, so I've got to, I'll just check the chat first, and then I'll come to the Q&A. Wow, cool, thank you. Okay, there's lots there's lots of thank yous. I really appreciate that, everyone. That's really cool. And thank you, that's awesome. We did go over editing. Okay, no, we've got nothing else in the Q&A. Cool. If anyone does have any questions, please do just put them in the chat. Cool. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. If this is the last time that we speak, I really do wish you the best on your video creation journey. It is a journey for anyone who is really, I guess, conscious about what they might appear like in front of the camera. Look, for me, I'm not an in front of the camera person. I have literally had to become comfortable with it, and it's been through training other people that I've really become more familiar with it and been on this journey myself. So I totally understand that it can be a struggle for some to get in front of video. Obviously, you in front of the camera. Obviously, there's many ways that you can produce videos, and there's tons. There really is. I really hope that you guys can find us on your journey and figure out what works for you, and that you can become as comfortable as I am, if not more, in front of the screen. Will you be doing more sessions like this, Cass? I would love to do more sessions like this. I really find that we, you know, Kevin and I are both really keen on giving back. We love to teach. We actually have a lot of masterminds planned this year. So have a look. I'm hoping that the one that was posted in the chat just before was to our mastermind. We have a mastermind session coming up on the 27th of August, which will be a live session. Kevin and I will be hosting, I think, 5 people, up to 5. We may have to make that a bit bigger. I believe we've kept it at 5 for now. It will be a one-on-one personal session where we will be really diving into people's needs. But otherwise, I do plan to do a lot more webinars and things like this so that I can answer questions. I get the most value out of it, and I find that people do as well when they can actually ask questions and have those things answered live. Yogini, super tips and technique run through. Grateful for how much you shared. Grateful to Yogini to be able to have this opportunity to talk to all of you. I think it's really cool, and I love getting behind the community and sharing my knowledge about this. It's been, you know, my career has been in video production, and I love to be able to share the knowledge. I think we all find it a little bit scary when we first get on this, so it's a big journey, and yeah, really appreciate having you all here today. Hi Raewyn, thanks so much for a great session. Lots of great tips I can use for future use. I'd love to connect with you on your LinkedIn if you have a profile. I do, Raewyn Barry, R-A-E-W-Y-N. Barry. You'll see that I'm the head of production at Facebox. Also connect with Kevin. Kevin does post a lot of content. He's our director, he's my business partner, and an incredible person as well. So please jump on there, and you can absolutely connect with me on LinkedIn, and you can connect with Kevin as well. Thanks, Ray, bravo, from Raewyn. Okay, that's the one that was there before. That must be Kevin. Cool. Well, thank you all so much for jumping on today. I really appreciate it. I'm going to stop the recording there, and yeah, good luck with your video journey. You are more than welcome to reach out to us. My email is pro@facebox.co.nz. We have our website, facebox.co.nz, and hope to see you all again soon, and let me know how your video journey is going.